If I could have everyone's attention, please. This meeting of the Limestone County Board of Education is called to order. Notices for the meeting were properly posted and provided to those who requested direct notification. Let the record show all board members are present. We will start with a prayer by Mr. Hilliard, and then I'll lead us in the pledge.
Shall I pray? Our Father in heaven, thank you for this day that you've given us, this opportunity to come discuss the business of our school system. Father, we pray that you'll help us to make the best decisions possible for our employees and for our students. Father, we pray that you will be with all those with health issues and let them get over that, if that's your will. Keep our students and our employees safe and healthy. Give us our sins in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good job, my big group. Good job. All right, we will begin with the superintendent's report. I'm sorry, we need to vote on the agenda first. Anybody want to offer a motion?
I'll second.
Mr. Glaze offers a motion, Mr. Shoulders second. All those in favor? Passes. Thank you. Now, Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're so happy tonight to have the East Limestone girls bowling team with us, and we certainly want to congratulate them on their great season that they had, an undefeated season, I understand, and also the 1A through 5A girls bowling regional runner-up and the state runner-up. And very few teams, of course, make it that far in the state. So we're certainly proud of you as a Board of Education, Superintendent, and school system for representing us in this great way. We have the head coach, Jennifer Turner, with us. Jennifer. And then also Mark Ferris, who is the assistant coach. And last year I got to recognize the boys out at East for winning the state championship over there. So certainly congratulate both groups. At this time, we have some proclamations that we'd like to give out, or commendations that we'd like to give out. And for Jennifer Turner, coach East Limestone girls bowling team, in recognition of your outstanding coaching skills, which led your team to an undefeated season and to the achievement of AHSAA Class 1A through 5A girls bowling regional runner-up and state runner-up, your contribution to the success of our students is noteworthy, and you are hereby commended. So if you'll come forward, please. And we have the assistant coach, Mark Ferris. If you'll come forward, please. And then, of course, for our players, in recognition of your outstanding achievement of an undefeated season in the Class 1A through 5A bowling regional runner-up and state runner-up, you are hereby commended for your sportsmanship, leadership, and dedication. First, we have Abigail Mason. And Sarah Hudson. Ariana Fox. Callie Bradley. Abby Wilson. Katie Mosley. And Miley Dickerson. And Violet here. So here's the rest of it. Let's give them one more round of applause.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you'll send it back, an email back.
Have we done this before? Recognize?
Yeah, if anybody wins or does anything,
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
I mean, I don't know, I can't keep up. So it seems like we're recognizing somebody all the time, but I don't know.
I'm just thinking it was the last two meetings. Yes, we did.
I don't know. Just say we didn't.
I'll go with the train, but we'll probably go.
Well, you think the Ardmore rep would have said something.
Okay, February, of course, is Career Tech Month, and so we would like to recognize our Career Tech program here in Limestone County. We, I know it's a lot. It's something we all can be proud of, and something this county, of course, has certainly supported for a long time. We have Vince with us, Vince Green with us, and John with us as well. I'm glad to have you with us as y'all lead that great program out at the Career Tech Center. But just a couple stats here that I think are great about Career Tech in Alabama. Alabama over the last 5 years has seen a 120% growth in workplace credentials earned in the state. And we know what the job market looks like. And if you can go to an employer and have a credential, what that actually means to that employer. So we're very proud, of course, of that. And then 81.9% of students in Alabama are currently enrolled in at least one CTE class. And I think that says a lot about the importance of CTE as well. The Career Tech Center offers 22 career pathways at the CTC and 18 at base schools. And of course, we heard from Ag last meeting, and tonight we're going to get to hear from two of our instructors out at the Career Tech Center, Mike Rainey, who does collision repair, and then also Tara Ellis, who does teaching and training. And so, Vince, I don't know how we want to do this, or if you want to say anything before they speak, but.
Well, I just would like to say that, we are successful at the Limestone County Career Tech Center, and every time I get the opportunity to thank the board and the superintendent for y'all's tremendous support. We would not be or be able to do what we do for students in Limestone County. February is Career Technical Education Month. We have got a plethora for an agenda for this month. We've already accomplished some of those things, like student tours. We toured over 900 ninth graders this month. We've got several other things going on, and I know they want to talk, and they're the ones that need to talk, because they're the ones that's in the trenches doing the good, hard work that benefits all these kids in Limestone County. We couldn't do what we do without this great instructors, and I appreciate them so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tara Ellis. I'm the teaching and training instructor, and our program serves all the students who want to be teachers or support staff for schools. Right now, we've had a great year. We've added a dual enrollment program that is specific to teaching STEAM classes for my students through Jacksonville State, and then we've also been able to be back in the schools this year and serving with for field experiences and doing our Reading Buddies program with our Tanner Elementary students. And then the big opportunity that you gave us was also hiring 15 of our students from our teaching and training program that we're really appreciative of. They are serving in 7 different schools, from working with PreK all the way through seniors. So they're working all across the board. They're loving it. So we've had a lot of positive feedback from the administrators and the teachers that they're working with. We have them also working in a counseling position, helping with those the peer programs. And it's really helping us with our grow our own type theme that we're going with. We're trying to grow our own teachers here in Limestone County. And so I'd love for them to be our colleagues one day. So congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Mike Rainey, teach collision repair. I know February is our kickoff for all of our CTO organizations, and although we've taught and trained these students since August, or maybe even years before, this month, the next 45 days, we polish them, getting ready to go to our contest, which we usually have a district, a state, and then a national. And we have winners every year. We have national kids that go all the way to national every year. But I have a little success story I want to tell you about one of my students. 3 years ago, Mazda Toyota came to town. And they come in partnering with Limestone County Career Tech Center, and Mr. Green was he was really into this thing about getting it going. And anyway, they come to me and they challenged my class to paint the very first car that Mazda Toyota would have in the state of Alabama. And it was just a body, just a shell. And then they found out that we have a color lab. So I have a mixing lab that has over $50,000 worth of painting. And so then they challenged us to come up with a color. They wanted to use the Toyota Barcelona red, the Mazda Soul red, and the red from Alabama State Flag. And since all three were merging, they wanted us to put these colors together and formulate a color. So I challenged my students. I have a senior this year, her name is Elizabeth. She come up with this color. We named it Moto Crimson, and
This is nice.
it's $1,257 a gallon. It has 7 pearls in it. And they liked it so much that they're actually going to put it on their car line to be going out for color.
That's great.
And they have come and got her and toured her twice at Mazda Toyota. So when she graduates in May, guess where she goes to work?
Mm-hmm.
And every student so far in my program that's went out there and applied for a job, to the best of my knowledge, is now working for Mazda Toyota.
That's great.
Just a story about that.
And that's attributed to Mike's hard work and y'all's dedication. to
Thank y'all for
remodeling
everything
that
y'all.
program. You know, Steve Wallace and his bunch, we all got together, put over $800,000 worth of capital outlay out there on Mike's program, and that's what really hooked Mazda Toyota when they came in and toured our facility. And that's like Elizabeth, she's just a great success story. In Tanner, Alabama, she started as a 9th grader just because she wanted. If you start, your second year career tech students get to really choose what program they want to start to do. So as a 9th grader, she got put in collision. Well, guess what? She's still in collision. She found something she really enjoyed. Jeanette Hosteller, which is vice president of production at Mazda Toyota, has told her, said, look, we want you to work for us, but if you want to go to college, we want to help you with that too. It don't matter what you want. Whatever you want to do, we are going to help you. She's the girl that made that paint. And that's just one success story. You know, Colin Daly, I talked to him the other day. He's got a young lady from Tanner working for him. She started as a co-op student, and she started at 17. At 18, they hired her permanent. So she's tier 1 retirement. Okay, she's got salary, she's got retirement, she's got insurance, works for the county commission, and the guy that's over technology, if I can't call his name, he told Colin yesterday, he said, I'm not kidding, when I retire, this girl's gonna take my place. She was making graduate from Tanner High School and Limestone County Career Tech Center. And that's the relationships that we're building every day with our school and our students with local entry. Mr. Goolsby has got our career work-based learning numbers up to 76 as of today. We got 4 more applications should be turned in this week. That'll put us at 80 at work-based learning, so that's a tremendous jump in that. And Dr. Wilson carried a group today in Calhoun to do the Calhoun Expo. He's working hard to, we were going to do a team building day this month, and we've got so many kids that we're not going to be able to do that. But Dr. Wilson is going to, what we're going to try to do at the end of the month, Dr. Wilson, with your wife.
It's a program called Your Money, Your Life, and basically we turn the entire tech center into, y'all may have heard of it, we'll turn the entire tech school into a city. And then each student gets life scenarios and certain amounts of money where they go through all these different things in the city and just learn how to balance their budget based on what scenario they're getting. But it's a really successful program with their extension, and instead of doing team building, we're going to do that at the tech school for part of our career tech line. So I'll let you know how it goes. It's going to be really neat.
Yeah, y'all
That's great.
come out.
Yeah, we don't need to leave our counselors out either. They do a tremendous job.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we got a great group, guys. I'm not kidding you. I've been in this a long time. I've seen good coaching staffs. I've seen poor coaching staff. Right now, at Tech School, we got a really good coaching staff, and this is all, working together every day. And it's something to be really proud of, and I'm proud of.
Thank Ms. Ellis, thank you, and I do think we need to grow our own educators, and you know how important it is that we have competent educators, and the ones that are in Limestone County are going to stay. if they grow up here and move back here and teach. They're going to stay with us, and that's what we need. So we need to keep supporting that program, and I'm glad that it's working out well. And then, Mr. Rainey, I think I toured your shop several weeks ago, and you'll appreciate this, Mr. Chris. He's very frugal with his paint. He has a lot of paint that's donated, and so he's got thousands of dollars worth of paint, but he didn't have to pay for any of it. So you can't.
I do appreciate that.
That goes back to our business partners, PPG. Donated I got 3 different
Oh,
lines
that's
of
awesome.
paint in my mixing program, and they donated everything.
That's great.
Yeah, over 50
That is
grand
great.
worth.
And you've been with us how long in the system?
About 27th year.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for your service. And Vince, I love hearing the number of work-based learning students we have. I think I kind of had a little personal goal of having 100 this year, and we're getting pretty close to that. So thank you for what you're doing with those students. Really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, we had a meeting at Calhoun today, all day with Alabama workers.
Okay, good.
And it's all about getting the industry more involved and trying to meet their needs.
It's good.
Awesome. On February 3rd, Limestone County Commission Chairman Colin Daly visited students and presented CTC Directors Vince Green and John Wilson with a proclamation declaring February as Career Tech Month. So we'll celebrate this all month, but it really continues on, and we're providing opportunities for students. So thank you for what y'all do. Okay, this is National School Counseling Week, February 7th through the 11th. National School Counseling Week 2022, School Counseling Better Together, will be celebrated from February 7th through the 11th, 2022, to focus public attention on the unique contribution of school counselors within U.S. school systems and how students are different as a result of what school counselors do. National School Counseling Week highlights the tremendous impact school counselors can have in helping students achieve school success and plan for a career. The special week honoring school counselors provides recognition for school counselors who implement comprehensive school counseling programs, a vital part of the educational process for all students as they meet the challenges of the 21st century. And we know the great job our counselors do across the district and all the great conversations they have with students and how they promote student success. And so we certainly appreciate our school counselors in Limestone County.
Man.
And then I provided the board, and I think you probably got copies of this at some point too, of the snapshot of Limestone County. And this, of course, goes back to fiscal year 2020. And so the data's a little older, but you're going a couple years back to fiscal year 2020. But I did provide a little snapshot of looking at our system. It's on a piece of paper like this that looks at 15 through 2020 fiscal year. I just think it's really interesting to look at. And I include a couple current stats, but if you look at enrollment currently, and this includes Alabama Connections, it is 14,580 students in our district. That's our ADM or what we think.
How many of those students are Alabama Connection?
Well, about 8,300 are ours. Okay? Yep. About 8,300 are ours.
Okay.
So what is that, 6,000 and something? Yeah. In FY 2020, you can see that number was 10,676. And I don't have the number that was ours in 2020. In 19, it was 10,395. In 18, 9,516. 2017, 9,110. 16, 8,736, and 15, 9,089. So you can see how the population has changed somewhat over time, but Alabama Connections has certainly increased their number of students served statewide.
Can you get us the number of students that, in these years, that were actually in our schools?
I can. Yes, sir.
Because I know in 2015 we had almost 9,100.
Right.
We didn't have Alabama Connections then, correct?
That's great. I think that's correct.
Is that correct?
We didn't have Alabama Connection.
I thought we had 5 years, and then we're renewing the contract tonight to put them on the same.
So we're actually
Schedule.
losing students.
We've lost some. That's correct. Yes. Yeah. From 15. And then I looked at, of course, the second category here is fund balance. We've got 2.95 months right now. We've only had 1 month in October. And of course, we don't get a lot of revenue, Ms. Hubbard, during that month. And so 2020, we were at 3.13, but as you know, we moved money over to capital projects from our current, and that's why, of course, we had more than 3 months fund balance. But when we moved the money over, it went below, as you'll see on your chart later that Ms. Hubbard has. In 19, 1.77 months. If you look at 18, we were only at 0.30 months, and 17.15, 16.31, and 15 was 1.77. So you can see there's been a remarkable improvement over the last couple of years as far as fund balance goes. Debt, if you look at debt, of course, in 20, it was $71 million. About $7,900,000 of that was bus debt, which, of course, the state is paying us back. 19 at $73,144,000, 18 $77, 17 $78, 82 and 16, and 15 was 76. And then, of course, the overall system rank. And so in revenue in 20, we ranked 100. And the way the chart had it in 19, we were 126. And then it was expenses in 18, so it was 126 in expenses, 103 in expenses in 17. 16, we were at 38 in expenses. And, of course, 1 being the highest, 38 being down closer to the beginning of the most expensive, and then 15 we were number 56. And then expenses per child, you can see that number. So currently, or 20, it was 8,651, and then 19 it was 8,318, 18 it was 8,620, 9,017, 9,716. And 9,303 and 15. You probably can make some correlation possibly with what you're spending because, for example, in 2020, that 8,651, the state number is about 10,000, so it was about 1,400. State average was about 1,400 more per child than what we were spending here in Limestone County. So that's a pretty big difference. And if you really, multiply that by the 8,300 kids we have or so, you're talking about $12 million difference just to be at the average level of Alabama.
That number, I don't believe that number is correct, is it? Because if you don't pull out the connection kids, because that 10,000 is not just Limestone County, that's connection with about a couple thousand students. So if we're looking at 8,300 versus that, then that number, that 86 is going up, because you're right.
Right.
But we're not spending any money on the connection kids. That the expense is only on brick and mortar kids.
Well, the money does go through to Alabama Connections.
Yeah, you got expense on them too.
Yeah.
I thought the O&M,
We get to keep that.
but I just think that number's, I think we're spending a little bit more per child. Especially if it's O&M and some of that other.
Well, some of the other added to that, but the flow-through that would go to Alabama Connections, that is part of our expenses.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I mean, you could even make a case that with more, you have more students, so, it would be even additional money there, right? You could make that argument that it would be even more.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I got a question.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Impatient. So when you look at our state rank, and this is revenue, right? We're 70th.
It's funding. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
It's funding. How
Right.
the schools are funded.
Okay. Limestone County revenue sources, we're 70th in state, 61st in local, and 124th in federal out of 138 systems, right? I mean, we're almost at the bottom in federal, right? We're 14 districts from the bottom. We're 100th overall. This is the money we get. As I understand it, our state money's simply based on ADM, right? So if that's just a number times how many kids you got, how could we be 70th? Why aren't we all tied? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how that works.
Well, the foundation is based on our ADM, but the other state money we get is based on grants and different pots of money that the state gives out.
Give me an example of that, please, of the other state
Of
money.
the other state money?
Uh-huh.
Well, we have the advanced ETF money, that's not based on AUM.
It's not.
Well, not totally, you know, you can read the bill, when we read the bill, it gives us the whole of how they calculate it. But just thinking about foundation money, we get, A+ College Ready, you know, they send money, we get money from them. We get the state money from, our legislators. I'm trying to think of some others in my code brain spelling tonight, so.
Well, we're at 138 and ranking 70th, so we're right in the middle, right? And our local revenue is actually above average. Man, that federal number is way down, way down.
Well, you have lower number of free and reduced lunch students, and so if you look back at like some of the numbers, like back in 17, 16, we were at 9 or 10% of our revenue was from federal sources, and that number has declined, and that's probably because overall the district is becoming wealthier with less free and reduced lunch students overall. So you would lose some funding there.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
Because this is, if you look at the percentage here, it's only 8% of our revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Federal.
Right, where if you look back, it was 10%, even though it was less, but of course you had more,
Right.
More students
Right.
now, but it was 10% back in 15.
Okay.
So that percentage has dropped a couple percentage points, and we're talking about $8 million.
Do Connections kids affect federal? Federal revenue? No. They stay on average with the rest of our population, or you don't bring money in federal through them?
They share some in our special ed money, but the special ed, if you talk to the people at the State Department, the special ed formula that they use, they go back like years and years and years ago, not even use the current number really to calculate a big portion of the special ed money. And then part of it is based on it, but the vast majority is, when we call down there to talk to them about it, is based on, I can't remember, in the 70s, I have to go back and look, but I just thought that's a really, really old number to go back and look at when you do that allocation.
And all special education money is federal?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Except for the part, you know, we have to put in so much towards the maintenance of effort.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
But for those other state programs, I don't think you'll list those.
Thank you.
And those snapshots where you were just talking about the federal dollars,
Mhm.
I uploaded that from the 15 through, so
Thank you.
it is online, so you guys have access to that.
Feel a spreadsheet coming on.
But you do have the local 10 mil match,
Yeah, I'm glad you're bringing that up.
which, of course, the $490,000 is the value of a meal. I think that's increased a little bit, up to 600 now.
Wow.
Yeah. And so if you look at the 490 times 10, that's 4,900,000, and you subtract that off of our foundational dollars that we get from the state, and that's our local match, right, to kind of be a player in state funding. So that does come off of our foundational dollars. Anyway, it's always good to look at historical data and look at where we are as a system, and look at our expenses, look at our revenue, and see how we compare with other systems. If there's specific questions, and that may come up, we can try to answer those and get the right answers to kind of understand what all this means.
Yeah, and there's a list of the systems, right? 1 through 138.
Yes.
Yeah. All public school systems are listed, I assume.
Should be, yes.
Okay.
And then the only other thing I had in your packet there was Dr. Maple was just kind of ask about employees, and so they're showing that we had in 2020 the number of employees we had, but then also looking at who's made up of those employees, and so 622, and I went back and Kim pulled this. So certified, would include teachers, principals, assistant principals, counselors, librarians, nurses, social workers, coordinators, directors, executive directors, and the superintendent. Okay, so all those would be part of that certified group. And then the classified would include your bus drivers, bus aides, custodians, CMP workers, maintenance workers, mechanics, receptionists, bookkeepers, instructional assistants. That makes up all of your classified employees. So you can see, of course, this number is 1059 that I used there, but you can see kind of how it's broken up in the district. But I think Rusty sent me, we have about 118 bus drivers, for example, so that takes up a large part of that classified workforce. And then, of course, your CMP workers and custodians. I think it's 40-something custodians in the district, so they make up your classified group throughout the district. Okay. All right. On number 5, we have the school resource officer, SRO position at Owens facility. Just wanted to say that we're able to use some Title IV funds through federal programs to pay for that position. We do have Success Academy and Alternative School out there. We feel like that's the biggest need right now, and we'd like to support that resource officer. We feel like it's something that we can continue to employ that officer through Title IV funds, and just wanted to kind of have a chance to explain exactly what we're talking about as providing that resource officer out at Owens.
So that county commission still helps us with our resource officers, correct?
They do, but not in this particular
We're going to
situation.
100% fund this one, but they're still going to go through the sheriff's office, and they'll still be. Okay. I just want to make sure that they
They'll
are.
answer to the sheriff's office.
They will.
Yeah,
yes.
that's even though we're paying the salary, they are under
Training.
They will, and that will be a discussion we have in the future about a combination of funding and so forth, possibly.
What do you mean? You mean the commission not?
Possibly, helping
Well, they
with
can give me
that.
that usage tax. I'm more than happy to give up the SROs. We'll take that back wherever colony. I don't see him here tonight, but if I can get my usage tax, that'd be sales tax. Yeah, go ahead.
Internet sales tax you're talking
Yes.
about, right? Yes.
I am.
Man, this took a turn.
He just brought up giving let the commission off the hook.
Just a couple of things, Mr. Chairman, if I could. We'd like to, of course, congratulate our teams playing this week and the area games, and we'll certainly have this continue through the weekend. But good luck to all our basketball teams playing in the area tournaments. Just want to give an update quickly on PreK numbers. We're really having a great multitude of students signing up for PreK, and we're way ahead of where we were. On 119.21, we were at 91, and we have 250 that have signed up this year. So certainly have a lot more interest there. And there are a lot of young families in the district for sure. I do think it's important to look at Creekside. We've had 81 sign up there for Creekside, for the 54 slots. But Johnson, who only has 18, they've got 32 that have signed up for there as well. So we've got a lot of folks signing up for PreK. And we're looking at maybe adding some programs in that area. It does cost us, I know, a little bit of money, but we are looking at adding some more PreK classes to cover our
We add them,
our
does the
need.
state fund some of them?
They
Even
do.
if we choose to add them?
They do, but it's only like, I think we had fund like 25% or so, yeah.
Julie usually writes grants. And
Okay.
it starts up, and her grants are over $1 million, now, and we just have to match, we have to put 25% in towards it. Then she'll write
Pre-K
grants
a
for the
federal
program, and
program?
grants for salary enhancements to help pay the salaries of the teachers, so. There's lots of grants that help with that.
Or is it state?
But there are some federal, there's some federal dollars coming for PreK. We don't know what that looks like yet, so we may get some additional help from the feds because they want universal PreK, as you know, as
Yeah,
part
I
of.
thought pre-K was a federal program.
It's OSR PreK, a state program.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
I think the feds are wanting to.
They want to get involved in.
Just a little bit of federal money with it.
Yeah.
You have to really ask for a breakdown to see it. It's not that much federal money that comes through pre-K. I have to break it down for the audit every year.
And all states don't have PreK programs, but I think what the feds are trying to do with the bill that was approved is get PreK into all states. And then I have good news on COVID as far as the latest information that I have. We had 41 positive students in the district, which is way down from where we were, thankfully. And we only had 5 positive staff members in the district. So glad to see those numbers. And I know Sherry talked to you all about shirts. We are having a countywide meeting on March 25th on that Friday. And we're going to have a speaker. The whole school system is getting together. And so if y'all like to come out and enjoy the time with us, I'd love to have y'all out there that Friday. It's going to be at Ardmore. I'll give you some more information before then, but we've got breakfast starting at 7:30, and then we've got our program starting at 8:30, and then they'll be out of there. They have parent-teacher conferences the day before, so they'll get out half a day that day, but we'll conclude everything by lunchtime that day.
Mm-hmm.
Are you good?
I'm good, yes, sir.
Ms. Hubbard?
All right, we're gonna look at September first.
Good deal.
And, then we're gonna go into October. Next month, we'll do 2 or 3 more months, and we'll get us caught up. But, September, we ended the year, really well. I know we looked at the last page where I did my pretty little chart. It took a dip, and I don't like to see dips, but we know why that dip is.
We do?
That's
We
because
moved it.
we moved 7.7 million into the capital project fund from the general fund to help fund our capital project.
I'm sorry, how much?
7.7.
7.757,264.01.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know you've been excited about it.
Yes, ma'am. Been excited about seeing it move.
And it's moved. I told you we would move it.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you look, 1 month fund balance is 7.4 million. We ended the year with 3.4 million, and we were gonna keep 3 months. But inside of the general fund in August, early September, we got our ETF money, and that was 2.9 million. And that money is committed to the general fund, so that money has to stay there. And that's why you see we ended with 3.4 million instead of the 3 that we had talked about. If you look at our chart on the last page, next to the last page, I turned it around this time so we can see it a little better. This only shows the revenue from the general fund, so that extra 7.7 million that went to capital projects, and then the other 3 million, that 10 million is not here. So we really had a total revenue, of local of like 33 million dollars, 33. And, that was up substantially from the year before. It was about 28 million. So, we did we were very blessed with sales tax.
Yeah, it was, I mean, on this snapshot, right? 27,764,000 is what it was in 20, and you're saying it's up to.
Well, we actually, see, we moved 7 million, almost 7.8 million, and then we put another 3 million, so we put 10 million in capital projects. So if you add 10 million to the 22, that's $32 million.
What I was wanting to hear. That's wonderful.
That's good news.
That's a big increase.
So if we look at October, every year in October, because we've reached the end of the fiscal year, we don't get in a lot of our local revenue in the month of October because everybody's closing out, the commission, the state, everybody that's sending sales tax and stuff in. You just don't see the amount of revenue come in until the next month. But actually, we moved 500,000, we'll move 500,000 a month into the capital projects fund as long as it continues to come in. And so if you look, we've still got 610,000 left in the general fund, which that gives us about 1.1 million, and that's more than we received last year in the month of October. If you go to the last page, we received 851,000 last year in October. So we're up this year in October. So based on that trend, we'll probably continue to see it come in like it did last year, and that's what we hope. So this year, because our budget, our expenditures grew some. A lot of that's based on some salaries and benefits for the raises the state gave. And so So 1 month's fund balance this year is 8.7 million, and so we ended the month of October at 2.95 million. So we actually grew around 400,000.
So our 1 month fund, I'm sorry, can I ask
Go
a
ahead.
question? Our 1 month fund balance grew by 17.5%.
They started our expenditures went up from what we budgeted, and we budgeted a little more this year, and we got a little extra in there to pay out, and so that makes our fund balance go up like that some.
The money we moved, the 500,000, does that count as an expenditure?
Does that count as, no, that's revenue.
Right.
That doesn't
I mean, but even though we take it out of general fund and put it in the building account, it doesn't count as an expenditure
No.
as far as counting our 1 month fund balance. How did we go up 17.5%?
I'm telling you, because we've been advertising how much money we got in the bank. People are spending money like crazy.
Well, let's move a
telling you,
couple
we
more
gonna have
months
to-
over there. That number I find
Slow this
shocking.
thing down.
If you go back and look at your September, okay, you've got September in front of you.
Yeah.
And then look at October, okay? So if you look at the expenditure, if you look from instructional support services down, you don't see them go up. You don't see them go up that much. Some of them actually went down a little bit. But if you look in the instructional services, which that's where all of our teachers, your certified and all that are paid from, that's where the money, that's where the increase came from.
But that's even worse.
That's $1 million.
Because we can't fix that number. That is
Yeah,
a
we can't cut
fixed
that back.
cost.
It's got other stuff. I'll send y'all a breakdown of that so you can see what it is.
I wish you would tell me it was in this stuff. We could just say, let's tighten the strings up and we won't spend as much, but you can't do that in salary. So you're telling me that
Well,
the state,
it's not all salaries and instructional services. It's got some other, anything that has to do with instruction is in that line. So I'll get y'all a breakdown and I'll email it to you.
Yeah, there's no way those raises cost $12 million.
Well,
the state's real good about giving that money out and then letting us fund it.
And letting us fund the rest of it.
Not all of it, but we fund, you told me this one time, what a state raise a percent cost this district. I don't remember, was it, it cost us so much per million.
It costs us so much.
And I don't remember, yeah.
Well, you think about it. What was the $1,000 was 1 point.
So close to 2 million.
I mean,
of
so
that.
you had some folks getting 2%, some getting 5%. You had your teams contracts out there too. So there were a good,
Yeah,
there
the
was a good bit of
longevity
money.
of that employee cost, I mean, they got a bigger raise. That was from the state.
That
But
was from the state. It was.
That's still not going to account for
No.
$12 million.
I'll send you.
I'm going to need it, yes, ma'am.
are you saying the 2.95 though, we will get closer to that 3 as we
Next month.
consistently as we go, which is what?
That's certainly the plan.
That's
Okay.
certainly, yeah, that is
You,
the plan.
by what we voted, we should be less than 3 months, right? Because we're doing 3 months of last year's 1 month fund balance and then basing it on this year's 1 month fund balance. So you should be less than 3 at
This,
this
yeah,
point.
because this year's 1 month is more expensive than
Last year's 1 month.
Right.
And
But
we're going to get more money when we do December and January. Higher numbers in December and January.
optimistic.
It always is. People buy stuff, it's Christmas.
Usually.
But which brings up usage tax, right? Sorry, I'm sorry, sorry.
Telling
Okay,
you. Thank you, Ms. Hoover.
thank you. Anybody, any other questions? We have a consent agenda before us. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll offer motion.
Mr. Shoulders offers a motion, Mr. McGill offers a second. All those,
I need to abstain from 6A, 1 and 2.
Mr. Hilliard abstains from 6A, 1 and 2. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 7, discussion approval of personnel actions.
I make a motion.
Dr. Maples makes a motion. Mr. Hilliard seconds. Any discussion?
Let's see, hang on, I may have a question.
Okay.
Let me get back to where it was at.
Dramatic pause from Mr. Glaze.
There you go. Under contracts, 2 and 3, explain that to me. Is this person just to do 2 jobs after school? Maybe I'm reading this wrong or something.
Here's the contracts.
Okay. What page, which one is that?
It's under,
It's under B, 2 and 3, is what he's talking about.
Uh-oh.
I just happened to see that when I asked earlier.
So she is not a full-time employee, so what she is doing is she has just got her certification in special education, but she does not want to work full-time. So she is actually doing, she's working 2 days a week, part-time, in as a district special education teacher, not to exceed 20 hours. She's helping them to write IEPs.
Okay.
Because we're down, and then she's working in the after-school program as well, which would be, after school hours.
Okay.
Kind of like a coaching
Alright.
supplement
Okay.
afterwards, so
Okay.
she wouldn't be doing them both at the same time.
Okay.
One would be during school hours, one would be after.
Okay.
But she's not full-time, so even
Correct.
combined, okay.
Yeah, and we're staying under, her, 40 hours.
Right.
So we
Not
don't
getting
have to
time
do
and a
that.
half.
32
Okay,
We're
hours.
trying to recruit her to come be a teacher, but she's wanting to take care of a baby right now.
okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 8, discussion approval agreement between Elkmont Elementary School and the Dollywood Foundation for the Imagination Library at no cost to the Limestone County Board of Education.
I make a motion?
The motion is made by Dr. Maples. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Shoulders seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 9, discussion approval September 2021 bank reconciliation and financials.
I'll offer motion.
Mr. Shoulders offers a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll say.
Mr. McGill seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 10, October 2021 bank reconciliation and financials. Do I hear a motion?
I'll offer.
Mr. Young offers a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Shoulders seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 11, discussion approval extended facility agreement between the Limestone County Board of Education and Alabama Connections Education, LLC through June 30th, 2024. Do I hear a motion?
I'll offer motion.
Mr. McGill offers a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Glaze offers a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 12, purchase of 4,680 Chromebook carrying bags with shoulder straps from CDI Bloom, I guess, through the National Cooperative Purchasing Alliance for a total of $59,997.60. Funding source, general fund.
I'll offer motion.
Mr. Shoulders offers a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Glaze offers a second. Any discussion?
I gotta-
Go ahead. Go ahead. Fire away.
Well, we went from a 1-to-1, and then couldn't afford it and got away from 1-to-1, and now it appears we're going back to 1-to-1. So what are we doing?
Well,
with
we
5,000?
received a grant, for
Okay.
the Chromebooks to cover students 6 through 12.
Okay.
Okay, so for now, this is something that we can do, and we just need to have, protective devices for them to be able to carry the computers
No,
home.
I understand that. I guess I'm questioning, I don't remember us buying 5,000
We
devices.
did, we got a grant. Remember, we got a
Yeah.
grant for that, so we didn't
So
have to
have we looked
purchase
at-
those.
And a grant's great, but have we looked at, are we sustainable? The reason the MacBook program didn't work, it wasn't sustainable. It was a good program. I still believe in the 101. I think that's
And
important.
we feel like Chromebook are more economical, of course, and we feel like we're going to have to, of course, budget replacements for those over time, but we feel like we can sustain it if we budget yearly replacements for those Chromebooks.
What do we do with the charging carts that we bought for all these laptops if we're gonna send them home to students?
We still have a lot. We haven't bought charging carts for these computers. We have other computers. So what this will allow us to do is move those computers down to the earlier grade levels, because Chromebooks, for example, is what elementary kids are testing on. And so some of the other Chromebooks that we have, we can now put them down at elementary level and let them use them. So they won't be wasted for sure.
So are we out of the MacBook business?
We still have MacBooks, but Linda, I don't know if you want to speak on MacBooks, but
I'll say we received $1.2 million to purchase these Chromebooks, or we didn't actually purchase them for grades 6 through 12 because the MacBooks are considered past. The MacBooks are getting very old. They're on the last ones.
But I think something Linda said also is the Chromebooks, we can fix those. They don't cost as much to maintain. Like, we were spending a lot of money to maintain those MacBooks on a monthly basis, $5 per device, I believe. And so we don't have to do that with the Chromebooks either. So it's much more sustainable than the MacBooks would be.
So we manage the Chromebooks ourselves. These ECF Chromebooks we can manage ourselves with no monthly fee. Parts for those, the most expensive part that would be purchased to repair one of these devices is $60 versus we were looking at having to take the MacBooks to a certified Apple repair shop. That was much more costly to repair those MacBooks. The Chromebooks are approximately $260 each, where the MacBooks were closer to $1,000 each.
I hate to put you on the spot, but I hear you saying that in a few months you're going to come back to me and tell me we need more staff because of this technician, these people to fix these.
We have the staff.
Okay, we're on record now. Thank you, ma'am.
I like that officially.
You probably should have hedged your bets a little bit. But
Wow.
I'm glad you didn't.
Walk right into that one.
How am I going to make that recommendation this time?
So how are these students using this?
These are used for Schoology. Dr. Lewis can probably speak more to what the...
Yes, with the terms of the grant, we're going to deploy these devices and obviously to take them home. They'll be able to use them for homework assignments, research assignments. If we have to have another e-learning day, then all of our students in 6 through 12 will have a device to take home with them. So we are in a way going back to one-to-one at least 6 through 12 because we have enough devices for the students.
So what percentage of time are they on the computer for homework? Because as a physician, the biggest problem we have is addiction to computers and addiction to games. And I feel like we're encouraging that when we let them go home with it.
Can I speak to that?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll be using content filtering called GoGuardian on these devices, which makes it pretty easy to lock them down into a whitelist of sites that are allowed.
Is YouTube allowed?
It can be allowed or it can be turned off. It's customizable.
Well, who customizes that? Isn't that the IT department?
The district.
Okay.
One of the goals that we have is...
I'd like the student to answer that. Yes.
Personally, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Yes.
But to me, it's like, it doesn't matter, a child's going to use a device no matter what. It's a lot easier to program a computer, and it's easier to work. Like, I don't have a computer, it's really hard to work on my phone with Schoology. So a computer is easier access, especially when we had that Wi-Fi program going on, that was a lot easier, because now, like, then I had Wi-Fi, right now it's kind of hard, it's really expensive, so it's a lot easier to just take home a computer. If the site's blocked, it's blocked, I can use my phone. But, like, no matter what, we're still going to play games. Like, I have an Xbox at home, and I spend hours on it.
Yes. But I don't want to encourage it as a system. As a system. And you're in East Limestone, and I'm in West Limestone. And having Wi-Fi at a house is very spotty. And even having Wi-Fi from your phone. And so, you know, that is just something to think about. I like that kindergarten or less than 6 don't take it home. Because their brains are not mature to learn self-control. And they will just be on it continuously and stay up all night just watching videos. I do like YouTube being blocked on the computers. Right now they're not. They need to be blocked.
One thing we're looking at with Schoology, which is our learning platform system, is to be more specific in what students can use, and teachers will put all of those videos or any other digital curriculum in Schoology. So it'll tell them exactly where they need to go to complete that assignment, to complete that research paper.
Because I do think it's more convenient, but so is fast food restaurants. And they're not the healthiest for us.
Really?
Yes, I've been told.
Doctor.
I know where I'm not
They're
stopping.
taking all the fun away from it.
I know.
Burger King or play games.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 13, discussion approval, school resource officer position at the Owens facility for Success Academy and the alternative school. Funding source is Title IV. Mr. Hilliard offers a motion. Do I hear a second?
That's like,
I think he offered a motion. It's hard to hear. Mr. McGill seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Hearing none, all those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 15, contract between Limestone County Board of Education and Cardinal School Incorporated for placement of student or students. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Young makes a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Glaze seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 15, adjournment. Do I hear a motion?
I have a motion.
Dr. Maples makes a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Shoulders seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Motion adjourned. Thank you, everybody.